Hi there, my name is Matthew, and this is part 2 of our series on how to start playing the game and have a fun time doing it. In the last episode, we created a character, we picked a server, a class, and we started out the game. And as you can see here on my quest on the right, I just have to go to the markets and talk with someone there to find out more information about how the markets work. And I thought the best way to do that would be to head there myself and show you and how the merchants work. But before I do that, I wanted to show you that the Aetheryte crystal in town here has some interesting functions that I forgot to mention last time. Not only can you teleport around town or visit another server, but you can set it up as a favorite destination or a security token free destination. This means that when you register it as a favorite destination, you can teleport here at a reduced cost. When you select this option, you can teleport here for free, as long as you have a security token attached to your account. So how does that work? Well, I've got it loaded up here. And essentially what you want to do is go to the MOG station and scroll down to where it says one-time password. When you click on this link, it'll open up a new window and it'll provide instructions for how to add an extra layer of security to your account. What happens is you enter in a username and a password when you log into the game, but you also enter in a one-time code, a one-time password that is six randomly generated numbers, and it refreshes on the authentication program every 30 seconds, so that just as an added layer of security, even if somebody gets your name and password, they won't be able to log in and play as your character unless they have your authentication program. So this will set that up, and as a reward, you'll be able to register a free location to teleport to. Now, because we haven't unlocked teleport yet, we can't make use of that, but I'll show you here what you can expect when you go to the markets. So on the right and on the left, you have the market board. This is a fantastic resource for finding all of the equipment in the game that can be crafted by players, and in some cases things that you find in dungeons, things that you loot. That's the term for when you collect treasure. You'll find items that you have looted, and they'll be here on the market board that you can sell to other people, and you can purchase from other people. Now, in order to put items up for sale, you need to progress a little bit further in the story. What'll happen is you'll be introduced to a group of people that will reward you for joining them after you've completed a few dungeons, and the reward will be a retainer. And what a retainer is a little merchant who will go out to the markets and sell your items for you. And you can even give them little coins called ventures to have them go out and collect items for you. They can become a different class or job just like you, and they can go out and collect things. In the last episode, we collected some mutton loin and a ram horn from a sheep, and if you don't want to go out into the wild and collect these yourself, you can have your retainer do it for you. You can send them out and they'll come back with mutton loin or a ram's horn if you wish. You have other options, other items. As long as you've collected it once, you can have your retainer go and collect it again. So that's a really great resource if you want to sell something very easily. So we looked last time at weapons. So I've clicked on here where it says main arm, Marauder's Arms, and that's what my class is. And it's showing me two options. A Weathered War Axe, which is what everybody starts with when they're a Marauder, and the Bronze War Axe, which is a level 5 weapon, and it's 223 gil ordinarily. Now, if I click on this page, or on this, on the name of this item, it's going to bring up a little page here where some of them are for sale. In this case, this one is 4 gil, and this one's 5. These ones are a bit more expensive, and so you really have to shop around and compare to find the best price. Each server will have their own market board specific to their server, to that server, and you'll need to either use a website like Universalis that we covered in a different video. I can show you that if you like. If I go to universalis.app, it's a website where you can search the market board very much the same way that you did in the game. So if I click on Marauder's Arms, it brings up 92 items, all the different weapons that a Marauder can use. And if I look at Bronze War Axe, it's going to tell me that on my data center, and remember we covered data centers last time, this is sort of a collection of servers. It's telling me that on some different servers they have them at different prices, and the cheapest they found is 84 gil. But if you look here, that was 4 days ago on the Golem server. And Choo Choo Lane, which is the server I'm on, was refreshed last week. Now if I go back into the game, you can see, well, somebody is selling the War Axe for 5 gil, which is a fantastic price and one that I can afford. So let's go ahead and purchase it. 1 bronze axe. That's cost me 5 gil, so my income now is 98. And if you're wondering where it's gone, it's automatically in my inventory. I don't have to go to a mailbox and collect it like in Warcraft. It's just there already. So you've got 2 ways that you can equip this item. One way that's quite easy, and another way that is a bit more difficult depending on how much equipment you have in your bags. So if I left click on my axe, it's going to collect it here on the cursor. You can just let it go again, and you'll see that in my weapons bag I have a Bronze War Axe waiting to be equipped. Now you can drag and you can drop, or you can hit this blue button called Recommended Gear, and it will automatically populate a list with the best gear for your class. So with a couple of button presses, I automatically put on the Bronze War Axe. And then this, where it says Gear Set, if you click on the plus symbol, it will save all of the equipment that you have on to a shortcut here, this one called Marauder, so that if I decide that I want to have a different loadout, I can create a new gear set and put whatever I want on there, and then by double tapping or dragging and dropping to a bar, I can switch classes very simply. Because one thing about this game that's very cool, unlike other games, is that your character can be many classes. You can do any class you want in the game, and you don't have to start a brand new character for that. So for the purpose of the gear set window, you may not need to create the Marauder class right away on this list, but if you have multiple classes, say we change this name to Paladin, for example, and we'll just imagine that that's my second class. By double tapping this, I can very quickly change to that equipment set, and then back again to Marauder if I wish. So I'm going to delete that set for now, and we'll just forget about that. It'll come into play later. Whenever you put on new equipment, you'll be able to update your gear set quickly, so that if you have multiple classes, and this is the list here of all the classes in the game, you'll be able to switch between them very simply. So, where we left off was exploring the market board and the marketplace. You'll find that in addition to the market board, there are vendors in the game or merchants that sell you items right from the store. The jeweler here will sell you 2 different types of equipment: Battlecraft accessories and Fieldcraft Tradecraft accessories. If you're a combat class, a tank, a healer, or a DPS, you'll want to take advantage of the selection of goods under Battlecraft accessories. And if you're crafting or you're out gathering lumber, minerals, treasure, or that kind of stuff, you'll be able to purchase equipment here that will benefit that particular gathering or crafting class. Tradecraft, again, this is a merchant that sells you ingredients so that you can take something here like a bronze ingot and craft it into a weapon, like a bronze axe that I'm wearing. Now, to get into crafting, you have to continue the story a little bit more until your character is level 10 and you've completed all of your job classes to that point. The Guildmaster will allow you to join other guilds, and you can start your adventure crafting if you wish. So since we're here, let's talk to Swazblate and see what he has to say. So he's going to tell you a little bit about the markets, and you can give him an item that Baderon gave you. You right-click again, or drag and drop the item from your inventory and hit hand over. It's going to play a little cutscene, which I'm going to skip for now. And then his quest marker has been replaced with a yellow quest marker, telling me that if I work for him, I'll get 10 earth shards and a little bit of experience. But as I had mentioned once before, it's not really that useful collecting these little side quest items because you quickly outlevel them. That was a level 1 quest. 50 experience points is not going to go very far when to get to level 6 I need 1440. Now we're going to report to Baderon at the Drowning Wench, and there's 2 ways we can get up there. We can either use the Ethernet and go to the aft castle, and I just know from memory that that's where the Drowning Wench bar is. Or we can go up here, which is where we started the game, and take the elevator up. So I'm going to go over here and talk to the lift attendant, and he's going to let me ride to the Drowning Wench. Or, if I wish, I can take the stairs, which are just right here. Now we're at the Drowning Wench bar, and if I go over here and talk to Baderon, he'll let me complete this quest. So after giving you a quick tour of the city, he'll let you explore some new areas. And I'm just going to skip that cutscene so that you can enjoy it for yourself. And he's going to send you on to Summerford Farms. This is a level 4 quest, which is great for my level. And you can see I'll get 1,040 experience points, and there's some options here for equipment. Now, this pair of boots will give me quite a lot of defense for my magic and physical defense, strength and dexterity, whereas this pair of boots gives me intelligence and mind, but doesn't really improve my defenses. And that's because this is for a magic class. If you want to play as an arcanist or a thaumaturge, which is like a mage, you'll want to have these thigh boots. But if you're a tank character or a melee character who you fight hand to hand or with a weapon, you'll want to put these boots on. So I'm accepting this quest, and he's telling me who to go and speak with. Now, ordinarily I would hit the teleport button and just whisk myself away to Summerford Farms, but I haven't unlocked it yet. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go over here to the Aethernet shard, and off camera I went and collected all the shards in town, and what it's done is given me access to 3 more options down here under the other tab. The Zephyr Gate, the Tempest Gate, and the Airship Landing. Now the Airship Landing will come into play later on in the story, where I'll be able to visit other cities and other parts of the world once I get an airship pass. But for right now I don't have one, so I can only go to these 2 places, Middle La Noscea and Lower La Noscea. Now I've been here before in Middle La Noscea, and that's why I have this map. If you remember in the last episode, I had to come out here to fight some sheep, and now it wants me to come back and head over here to Summerford Farms. I can't click on this because I haven't been there before, but I can click here where it says Middle La Noscea, and it'll teleport me outside the city gates. From here, I'm going to point out something of the hunting log, and you can get to the hunting log by clicking down here and pressing on this button or pressing the letter H. And what it is a compendium of all the monsters in the game, and if you defeat them a little bit at a time, it'll show you here that these are little characters, and then it becomes gradually harder and harder to defeat. Doing so will give you experience. So this Wharf Rat has a little target symbol above him, and if I defeat him, you can see that I gained a little bit of experience, but I need to defeat 3 of them in order to collect the bonus. Now if you're trying to level up and you want some extra experience and you don't feel like doing quests, you can always do your hunting log. And in fact, later on in the game, when you join up with a grand company, your character will find that there is a hunting log that rewards you with special company seals that you can use later on to purchase a whole variety of special items that are exclusive to the grand company that you're with. So by defeating 3 Wharf Rats, I got a bunch of experience and leveled up to 6. I also learned a new ability called Berserk, which increases my power. When I activate this ability for the next 3 attacks, I deal a guaranteed critical hit, which is great if you want to do a lot of damage. Now I've unlocked my hotbar and I'm going to move this ability out of the way because it's not something I use all the time. I like to use it on a very difficult opponent, and I want to keep this row clean and empty for my single target ability attacks. This line will be used for multi-target attacks, and then up here I'll put my defense spells as I unlock them. This might be a good time to tell you also about the Fate system. This is where you enter a blue circle on the map, and you can see that there's a purple symbol here with a blue background throughout the map. And you'll see there's some monsters here fighting against other people. So if I help these guys out by defeating the monsters, this bar on the right side of the screen will begin to fill up. And you can also see that there's a timer, 12.5 minutes. That lets you know how long this little world quest is active for. And you can see I already leveled up to 7 just by fighting a few of these monsters. Also because they were on my hunting log. By completing this fate, I can't remember what it stands for, but it's something like a world quest, where just out and about you'll see these events happen that you can take part in, and by doing so you get a little bit of experience, a little bit of money, and if you're in a grand company, you'll get some currency you can use to purchase items in that quartermaster's inventory. Okay, you've completed it. You leveled up again to level 8. You got a little commendation here, 10 gil, 700 experience points, and I learned the action called Rampart. So what Rampart is a defense spell, so I'm going to put it in the top left here, and it reduces the damage I take by 20%. So if you're surrounded by enemies, if you're fighting a particularly difficult opponent, maybe a boss, you can activate Rampart and you'll be protected for 20 seconds. And it refreshes every 90 seconds after using it. By the way, this symbol above the character here means that he also can start a fate. If I right click to talk to him, oh, and he just disappeared, so I guess the timer ran out. You can talk with that character and he will launch a world quest for this area. And you can see that the one that we did has disappeared from the map, but it'll come back in 15-20 minutes, maybe an hour from now, and you can do it again. Okay, so continuing on, I'm going to put sprint so I can get here a bit quicker. And here's another aetheryte crystal. Now, every time you visit a new town, it's a fantastic idea to find the main aetheryte crystal and to click on it, and your character will attune to it. This adds it to the list of places you can go to by teleporting or returning. Now, if I right-click on it, I can set it as a home point, so that if, for example, I'm out and about in this area and I perish, I can come right back here and it won't take me a long time to get back to this map, for example. I can make it a favorite destination so that I can get here for a discount, or I can make it so I can get here anytime I want for free. But since I've done that for Limsa Lominsa, the capital city near me, I'd like to make this my home point. This way, if I die, I can come right back here, and I won't have to start all over again in the city, making my way back out the gate to get here. Okay, we're going to talk to this character, and he's going to give me a quest after I complete his Baderon's quest here. I've chosen the boots because they're quite an improvement over what I'm wearing. I'm going to hit recommended gear. It's going to suggest the boots I just got. And I'm going to hit update gear set. So now whenever I switch back to this gear set, it will have the latest loadout ready to go. When you talk to this character, he wants to find out if you're ready for combat. And he wants you to make sure that you have a helmet. So what you need to do in order to complete the quest, and you can see it's red right now, that means I can't complete it, you need to go to a merchant and purchase a helmet. Now before you head back to Limsa Lominsa, there is a merchant right here by the delivery Moogle, and the merchant will allow you to purchase all kinds of items and repair your equipment if it gets damaged. Usually this happens when you die. So, if you click on Battle Gear, you'll see a list of stuff, but don't get too overwhelmed. If you notice, these items beside the name have a little symbol. This is a hat symbol, a chest piece symbol, gloves, leggings, and boots. So you know just by looking what items are appropriate for what part of your body. Now we're looking for a helmet. But I can't afford this one because it's too expensive, 264 gil, and I only have 215. If we look at the leather eye patch, it's 141 gil, and then down here this hat would have been even better at 113, but if you look on the right, it provides a bonus to intelligence and mind, which is not something that I can use. So I'll have to purchase the leather eye patch, which gives me strength and dexterity and a lot of defense, and it's 141 gil. Now luckily I have that much money, And I'm just going to put it on and update the gear set. And now you can see my character has an eye patch. But if you'd rather not have that show on your character and you don't like wearing helmets, simply find this button here, which is a little hat in a yellow circle, and it says hide or display your headgear. If you click that, your character will take off any helmet, at least the appearance of it will be gone, but it's still equipped in my inventory here. So I'm still wearing the headpiece, but it's not being shown. Similarly, I can hide or display my weapon. If I don't want to wear a weapon or it clashes with my outfit too much, I can just make it disappear or reappear, and the same thing with the eye patch. Now that I've chosen to take off the eye patch, as it were, I'm going to update my gear set so that the next time I transform into this class, if I have a different one, it will remember my preference to hide the eye patch. Okay, now we're going to go back up and talk with Steelwern, or Stalewern, and see what he can, see what he thinks of our new piece of equipment. Great, so he's happy, and now we can pick the bronze war axe that we wanted, but since I found it on the market board for 5 gil, I don't need it anymore. I don't need a leather grimoire or a pair of daggers because I'm not a rogue or a ninja, I'm not an arcanist or a summoner, so instead I'll take the bronze Allagan piece. And what this is a little a little bronze coin that you can trade for 100 gil. Now I'm level 9. I'm going to head back down here and I'm going to say purchase items, which is going to bring up a list of potions and antidotes that you might need if your character gets poisoned. And I'm going to right click on the bronze piece and hit sell. And that has just increased my income from 235 to 335. Now, in other games, if you're poisoned, you need an antidote to cure yourself or your character will die eventually. But in this game, poison is a status effect that only lasts for about 10 or 15 seconds and doesn't hurt that much. So you don't need antidote as much as you did in, say, Final Fantasy I, where you go into a dungeon and have to fight monsters that poison you, and making it back to town is very difficult. You usually die before you get back, because poison is a permanent condition unless you have a bottle of antidote. This game is a bit more forgiving, and so you don't have to worry about that. Ether is a potion that will restore a little bit of mana. If you're a magic class, it's useful to have some of these, but they've recently made it so that your character will typically have a very high amount of mana and you won't run out. I don't think I've run out of mana in this game since I started playing, so I guess it's not a recent development, it's something that they've had for a long time. So you don't need to worry about ether potions. High potions are quite valuable for a low-level character, but they're too expensive to buy right now. Also, over here it says the number 2. That's telling me that I've got 2 of these potions in my bag already. So that's good enough for now. I don't have to worry too much about stocking up on potions. So I'm going to conclude this video and just let you know that we covered the Fate system, which are open world quests. We covered the markets and how to get equipment from the market board. And I guess we did a little bit more of the main story quest and attuning to aetheryte crystals outside of town. In the next episode, I would like to talk to you about dungeons and what you can expect once you've unlocked those. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day.